Okay, admin, this story happened around the year 2012 in one of the primary schools in Brunei Darussalam. This story was told by my sister, who has a friend which happened to be a teacher at that particular school. One day, this teacher shared her strange and also quite scary experience. Not only did the teacher experience it, but so did the school cleaner, who was confronted with an unexplainable nightmare that no one should have had to go through. That year, this teacher had a pupil that was hyperactive, lively, and chatty in class. Until one day, her student wanted to go to the toilet.
Teacher, can I go to the toilet?
This teacher then told the student to go to the toilet. After waiting for a long period of time, the teacher started to feel worried because her student who went to the toilet hasn't returned to the class. The teacher then went to the toilet and checked on the child, but the student is nowhere in sight. The teacher grew anxious, so the teacher decided to report this to the headmaster and told him about her situation. This is also make the headmaster concerned. They assume the student might be went home early, since the student's home is closer to the school. The headmaster feared that the student would return home and his mother would be angry because of the teacher's negligence. So, the teacher went back to the class to see whether the student has returned to class or not. Suddenly, the missing student came to class, but his character and manner seemed odd and he's not looking like himself. The student was all silent and not talkative as usual. He then went straight to his table. The teacher was very angry at him. The teacher asked him where has he been, because she was worried about him, and as a teacher, it's her job to ensure the safety of her students. After that, this student also answered, but with only one word: toilet. After that, he was quiet and avoid eye contact. The teacher wondered why he was very quiet, but she let him be. And the teacher texted the headmaster that her student is already in her class. And then, the teacher continued to teach as usual. Suddenly, the classroom door abruptly opened, following with a familiar voice.
HI teacher?
It was the student who was quiet earlier, but this time, he is back to his normal hyper state. The teacher was in shock and dumbfounded to see the student. She immediately turned to look at the table where the silent student was sitting. But there is no one sitting at that particular table. Teacher was shocked to her core after realizes the odd situation. But the teacher trying to stay calm and not making a commotion. So, the teacher just ignored it and continued teaching without causing any panic. On the same day, that afternoon, the school cleaner was cleaning the school toilet. The school toilet is the elongated type. I think for viewer understanding, the toilet is like your typical Bruneian school toilet. So every Bruneian can picture this. So this cleaner was cleaning and went into one of the school toilets. She was focusing on mopping the floor. As she reached to the middle section of the toilet, she noticed a long black hair on the floor that stretched all the way to the end of the toilet. She was inspecting and following this trail of long hair to see where it originally came from, as she slowly looking up. To her horror, she saw Pontianak sitting in corners under the ceiling. The thing was smiling at corners of the ceiling, looking at her moping. The cleaner immediately bowed her head and pretended she didn't notice anything before continuing to mop. She then exited that toilet. So the next day, the cleaner did not go to work because she was having a severe fever. Wallahu alam, I heard this story from my sister while we were gathering at her house. The end.